Hello again, welcome back to another educational YouTube video. Today I am going to go over the roadmap, what I'm going to be doing with my run 1 rep maximum. I'm pretty much going to show you how to use that number with the whole percentage system to really figure out what the best way to progress is and how to make pretty much things happen. Right now I've got my trusty iPad here and I'm gonna pretty much just scribble down everything, go through how my brain's gonna work through this and how I'm going to utilize this information. So my 1 RM equals 245 pounds. Yes, so what I want to do with this is I want to train for hypertrophy, bodybuilding, smiley face. Now that I have this number and I know what training block I want to be in, I have to set myself a time frame. I'm gonna give myself 6 weeks. 6 weeks is the normal amount of time inside of a mesocycle. A mesocycle being pretty much a training block. I'm giving myself 6 week. Purpose of this training block is to get massive gains, bro. To get massive gains, bro, what do we have to do with this number? We are working with the percentage training system, and in this training system pretty much everything is set at a certain percentage. Let's set up this time frame little baby calendar. So we'll have week 1 and 7 deload. 7 is deload. So I'm giving myself 6 weeks to pretty much again get massive gains, bro. What do we actually do here? In the percentage training system are going to progressively overload, meaning you're going to start small and go higher and higher and higher and higher. In bodybuilding, there is a simple concept that most people forget about. It is called, I'm going to make this nice and green, stimulus to fatigue ratio. You want your muscles to be activated as much as possible without pretty much taxing your nervous system to the absolute limit. So the way we would implement the stimulus to fatigue ratio in its most correct form is starting small. So in week 1 we would start at about 50%. 50% of 245 is 122 pounds. And pretty much we would work with this through the whole entire week. Just try to focus on feeling everything, making sure that we're going through the full range of motion, making sure our technique is good and dandy. But once we are done with week 2, we are going to progressively overload. Progressively overload can mean plenty of things. Most people think of it as adding more weight to the bar. That's all they think about. It's like, oh, I gotta add more weight, I need to progressively overload, this is the only way to get gains. But another way you can do it is also adding reps. We are gonna go up to 60%. It is 147 pounds. And then week 3 would pretty much be 70%, 171. Now we are getting into like pretty heavy numbers, but nothing really too taxing. 70 to 75, 80% is really pushing it. Now week 4 we will go up to 75. During week 4 it's past half of our mesocycle now, and so we are pretty much getting down to the nitty-gritty things. We are just really working hard. We are making sure that the stimulus is still up there without risking fatigue. Around this time, 185, 183 is pretty heavy, so instead of adding more weight to the bar and using more of my central nervous system to lift the weight, I am going to add reps. So we are going to stick with the 75, but add reps. That's pretty much going to overload just as good as it would be, but even better than just adding more weight to the bar. On week 6, pretty much the same thing. If I'm feeling a little spicy, probably go up to 80%, but most of the time I will stick with 75%, add more reps, overloading, and then after that would pretty much be a big fat nice hard-earned deload. That is pretty much just the general idea of what my in-brain plan is with using this number. So it's pretty much just finding the correct number that I need to be working with in order to fucking get massive gains. Instead of going in the gym blindly and feeling it out and saying that like, oh, 205 is where I should be, and try to do 10 to 15 reps of that. I know in my head, okay, I'm not touching anything over 180 because that is 75% of my 1 rep max, and that is pretty much going to minimize the amount of fatigue that I'm going to experience. This is helping me not lose track of where I am and how I can get better. Like I said before, if I were to go in and do things blindly and work with 205 and try to hit 10 to 15 reps of that, I would pretty much just destroy myself. I would take 5 steps back rather than taking 2 steps forward. And yeah, so hopefully this made sense.